Hi, my name is Greg and I'm part of the inside sales team at D'Artagnan, and I'm going to show you how to break down one of my favorite cuts, the hanger steak. Alright, so today I'm going to be breaking down our domestic hanger steak. This comes from a co-op of small farms out in the Midwest. They abide by our protocol of no antibiotics, no hormones, and it's part of our never ever program. So there is no withdrawal at all. These are pasture-raised, and they are brought in from pasture for the last few months of their lives just to be finished on grain, just to add like that extra marbling. What I want to really point out to you here is that there's one hanger per cow. It's very hard to find in the grocery stores. Still to this day, it's very hard. Find a good source to find a really good, nice hanger steak. While it is an amazing cut, it does require some butchery skills. Right before I break one of these down, I just like to clean it up, dry it up so that my knife and my hand aren't sliding off of it. And if you could just come in a little bit closer, I'd like to show you that there is this seam that runs down through your hanger. One seam. And that seam goes basically like a plane right through, and you want to separate these two pieces. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean off this excess. I like to just try to remove the excess sinew, just so I can really get down to the fat that I'm going to need to really get my knife underneath. And just want to point out that I am using a utility knife. It doesn't have a whole lot of bend to it. I'm not looking for bend. I really want to have a nice sturdy knife, but most importantly, I want to have that nice curve at the end. If anyone's ever broken down a tenderloin, the sinew is a lot more softer on a tenderloin than it is on the hanger. Hanger has definitely a tighter sinew, stronger sinew, I should say. But one nice thing while I'm just breaking these down, you can really see the grooves that are in here. Much like, I guess you'd say it's very close to a bavette steak, sirloin flap. Whereas like when you have those nice big grooves, it really takes well to marinate. The hanger steak is definitely a very well-known being able to marinate before putting on the grill. So I don't really marinate too often these because I really just want to taste that nice beefy flavor that the hanger steak offers. So you can see here, this is our thinner side on this side, but when I turn it over, kind of almost split right down the middle. So that means the sinew is going to be running kind of like at an angle. So what I want to do is I'm going to start on the far end away from me on this side and just kind of work the point of my knife towards me. I'm going to flip that right over, just bring my knife right along that seam. That's what we started off with, and here's our trim. And that's how you break down a hanger steak. When you're breaking these down, I don't really recommend treating it like a filet mignon on a plate. I think it's best, as you can see before when we were looking at the grains, great for marinating. The one thing about those big grains though, is that you gotta cut it the right way. So when you put like a piece of steak on somebody's plate, you're kind of putting it up to them on their onus to know where to slice and how to slice that steak up. So the one thing is how, when we were looking at these, you have like a thinner side, a thicker side. It might be hard to try to make everything look so uniform on the plate. So what I really recommend is that when you are cooking these, don't focus on trying to find the perfect portion. Cook them whole, or break them down into like maybe a smaller piece, cut them in half, but cook them on the grill or in the oven, nice high heat. Cook them to a medium rare to medium, no more, no less. Anything less or more is going to tend to be a little more on the chewier side. Medium rare to medium, these things will cut like butter. But it's important to that when you are doing it, to slice against the grain and really do the work for the customer or for your guests, and really put that on the plate as a sliced portion. So when we're talking about the yield and how like you're going to have a 30% waste on these, don't think of it as it has to go into the garbage. Really, you can caramelize all the trim in a sauce pot, caramelize that, and then add in some mirepoix, garlic, onions, celery, carrots, and maybe a little tomato paste, deglaze with some red wine, and make a nice little au jus or stock. with the trim. It's not going to give you the same kind of gelatinous or body that like the bones will give you, but it'll certainly give you some good flavor that you can use for a soup or for some sort of gravy or sauce.